What happened in the previous chapter was that Dot decided that they, as friends, should take a leisurely stroll. Our heroes had a bonding session at Margarette Street where they played, shopped, and enjoyed themselves. They also went to a wand shop where Mashle obtained his very first magic wand. Before they went home, Mashle thanked his friends as it was his first time experiencing such an event. In the next scene, Orter spoke to Orca Prefect Margarette Macaron about Mashle. He recounted how Mashle defeated Abel, the lame prefect, without any magic. Due to her excitement, Margaret decided to confront Mashle. While on her way to Mashle's house, she and her companions crossed paths with Rayne. He tried to stop her, signaling a confrontation between two dorm prefects. What's up, Onii-Chan? Welcome back to our manga recap series about Mashle, Magic and Muscles, a story that meets elements of Harry Potter and One Punch Man. So, let's start the video. Continuing the exciting story of Mashle in a world full of magic, we delve into the history of Margarette Macaron. Several years ago, a competition was held among students in the middle school division. The purpose of this was to discover talented 13 to 15-year-old magic users. It turned out that only one magic user succeeded alone against all other participants. Because of her dominance, there were doubts about her victory. An investigation took place and it was discovered that a rule violation had occurred. The participant had lied about her age. The participant turned out to be only 9 years old at the time. Her name, Margarette Macaron, the future prefect of Orca Dorm. We return to the confrontation between Margaret and Rayne. Margaret doesn't just plan to fight Mashle, she also plans to fight one of the school's divine visionaries. She suddenly flicked her hand, and a grand piano appeared, which she then played. She mentioned that Rayne was a powerless winner. There was a moment of silence, and Rayne wondered if something should have happened. Margaret explained that not all powerful magic users want to become divine visionaries because it's just a title. She only aspires to pure strength, while Rayne aspired to the position. She wondered who between them would be stronger. Soon after, the two prepared and exchanged their own magic. The two powerful magics clashed and caused an explosion. While that was happening, our hero was playing board games with his friends at his house. As they were playing, the board game seemed to reveal their personal problem. Dot's problem was being overly cautious. Lemon's problem was love issues. Lance noticed that the board game seemed to predict their futures, and when he tried it, his piece landed on a square stating that his little sister brought home a boyfriend. Because of that, he was flung onto Mashle's wall. Finn also tried it and his seemed normal. When Mashle tried it, his piece landed on a square stating that it was discovered he couldn't use magic, so it was game over for him. Mashle was shocked. They all stared at the board game, and Dot started laughing. He was trying to hide the pain he felt while Lemon was getting annoyed with the game. Lance was just quiet. Lemon and Dot started arguing while Finn remained silent. He remembered his brother Rayne's words saying that such days will continue. Words only have meaning when you pair them with actions. If he can't act, it's the same as not voicing what he feels. In the end, Finn decided to help his friends move forward. In the next scene, we return to the fight between the two prefects where Margaret used shiver sounds on Rayne. She also used howling sounds. Suddenly, musical notes appeared around Rayne, and they gradually multiplied until he was surrounded by them. Margaret then told Rayne that she wouldn't attack if she were him because these notes would explode in response to his casting. She then asked Rayne if he knew why they crave stimulation. Art, love, sports, drinking, drugs, and gambling. None of them are necessary to live a normal life. So why do they seek them? The answer is simple. Because boredom signifies death. She explained that they live to seek excitement. But Rayne was too easygoing and even interfered with others' problems. Rayne was boring to her. She couldn't imagine someone like him fulfilling what Margaret desires. He should just be kind and step aside because she wants to see Mashle. Suddenly, Rayne spoke up and said that Mashle was brave and shameless. He was brave to the point where he told Rayne that he wants to change the world's perspective. After that, there seemed to be a strange pressure in the area, and Margaret noticed a shift in Rayne's mood. Back at Easton Academy, Onii-Chan explained to Wahlberg that Margaret was as famous as Rayne. They are widely recognized. But the only difference between them was that Margaret didn't want to become a divine visionary, even though she has the skills for it. Rayne wouldn't go home without accomplishing something there. Wahlberg then explained that despite how Rayne acted, he always managed to help others. After that, Wahlberg asked Neri what he knew about marks. Neri answered and said that he believed that the number of lines increased in accordance with one's absolute magic power. Wahlberg confirmed that this was correct. Wahlberg explained that Easton was a historic school, dating back several centuries. In their school, they had seen many double-liners. However, they only encountered very few triple-liners. Suddenly, they showed Margaret, who looked absolutely shocked. If 2 lines represent the recognition of a person's talent by magic, then those with 3 lines are chosen by God. Margaret suddenly teared up with joy and uttered the words, "The summer of bliss." Wahlberg explained that the youngest person to get 3 lines was Rayne Ames. Rayne, who was shown growing a 3rd line, promised to ensure that the brazen boy, Mage, would be helped to move forward as far as he could go. In the next scene, they were still playing the board game with Mage, where it was Mage's turn to go back to the space he had previously landed on. Because of that, Mage was again flabbergasted. Dot commented, "That's the 2nd time." Lemon cheered him on, while Lance said that Mage couldn't get past that square. Finn didn't know that there were game overs in that game. Mage then decided to step outside for a moment. Dot and the others were worried about him. Dot thought that Mage was acting okay, but he felt that Mage was already hurt. Finn was sure that was right because Mage was innocent in all of this. Lemon said that if she were Mage, she would blame society. After that, they wondered if Mage was okay. Meanwhile, Mage was shown running fast and eventually stopped. He said that no one would be able to see him there now. Suddenly, he took out a giant cream puff. He said that now that he was alone, that specialty cream puff was just for him. But he heard something from the side. The scene switched back to the standoff between Rayne and Margaret. Margaret thought to herself that it was a gift from the gods to see someone her age reach triple-liner status. She explained that her howling sounds would create a chain explosionary reaction to chanting. Indeed, Rayne was a triple-liner, but he still needed to chant to use magic. She thought she had him cornered since she surrounded him. Suddenly, Rayne asked her if Order had told her about Mage, because Margaret wasn't usually interested in school affairs. So he was sure Order must have done it. Margaret played dumb and asked what Rayne was referring to. While that was happening, Mage arrived and heard Rayne explaining to Margaret that the kid he was after, Mage, couldn't use magic. He seemed to have lost his right to, and who wouldn't be saddened by that reality? To envy those who have magic, to regret being born, to be angry with society. All of these reactions are supposedly justified. But Mage doesn't think that way. He proudly said that Mage is challenging his own fate. Margaret and Mage just stared at each other. Margaret, being an underhanded rat, wouldn't understand. Margaret said the speech was cute, but she still didn't care. In the minds of Margaret's companions, she remains confident even though she's fighting a triple-liner divine visionary. Margaret is not arrogant. She distributed her coins throughout the dorm because she wasn't interested in becoming a divine visionary, but she managed to collect 10 gold coins from the upperclassmen, the highest last year. She also explained that her howling sounds would dent everything if Rayne chanted a counterspell. Rayne is at a disadvantage. The value of the amount of magic power you can produce is not the only important thing. Skills are also crucial, and Margaret has top-class skills and techniques. Suddenly, Margaret closed her eyes and imagined a theater full of people cheering for her. She then conducted, and her 2 companions began to play. She cast the sounds orchestra towards Rayne. Rayne needed to cast a spell at that point. The scene then suddenly switched to Neri as he asked what distinguishes triple-liners from double-liners. Both are on different levels in terms of their perspective. Wahlberg explained that the 3 lines signify someone chosen by the gods. They have the ability to unleash stronger power than a double-liner. But that's not all they can do. They can awaken the true form of their wand. Neri seemed puzzled. Wahlberg said that magic is known as the blessing of the gods. The scene then suddenly shifted to Rayne as he faced his wand. He quickly cast a powerful deflector shield, repelling Margaret's attacks. Margaret was surprised, wondering how strong the magical energy Rayne was releasing. Rayne then exclaimed, "Summon Ares, god of war." Wahlberg explained that triple-liners could invoke the power of a god from their wand, while showing the brutal transformation of Rayne, who now held a spear instead of his wand. Margaret was surprised to see the transformation of his wand, realizing that it was the Sword Cane, the divine visionary of war. In the end, Rayne declared checkmate and attacked with his spear. He cast the black partisan towards Margaret, who was shocked. And that is where this video ends. What do you think about it? Does Margaret stand a chance against Rayne? What will happen to Margaret? Write your comments down below. If you want more anime and manga recaps, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with new videos.